All right, good evening and welcome to the SRX broadcasted split. We're going to be here at Lernerville for a 35 lap tilt on the high banks of the Lernerville dirt track, and we got a pretty decently sized field for today's race. Got 13 cars registered for the race, and currently just waiting for the session to go up. All right, session's going up. We got an SOF of 2073, so pretty decent SOF for a dirt oval SRX race. Looking forward to seeing what this field can bring to us. They got cars on track right now. And just waiting.
Hell yeah, buddy. Just pull right back up on the track.
Oh, well, let's mute that real quick. Just trying to get my ticker loaded up. We're currently looking at practice right now. We got 13 drivers, so we got a pretty decently sized field for a dirt race. Going to be pretty hectic, but should be pretty fun here at Lernerville. Is it going to load? Sorry for the lack of a ticker. I'm just trying to get ATVO to launch. And it is not wanting to play ball. There we go. And let's get it out on screen real quick. All right, got it out on screen. They're currently looking at the one of Ty Ralph as he goes overboard. No walls on this track here at Lernerville, so you got to be really careful with how fast you can be, because the fast way around this track is getting as close to the edge as possible, but of course you don't want to fly over it. As Ty Ralph goes over again, fastest lap on the board right now by Wesley Dunphy, a 17.64, as he's trying to get his second lap done, gets that right over the edge. Let's see what he sets this time by 17.864, but that fast lap of his is good enough for second right now. Live look at Ricky Paz getting really close to that outside wall of turn 4. He's going to set a 17.97. Good enough for 4th right now. Looks like Tyrell has finally got the car under him. He was here in the Wednesday race and was pretty fast, looking to capitalize on that speed. Doesn't go overboard in 3 and 4. Really sideways out of 4. That's gonna hurt his momentum, but he goes to the top of the board with a 17.11 or 611. I apologize, 17.611 for Ty Ralph, trying to see if he can improve upon that time. Just needs to not get as sideways as he did before. Much better exit for Ty Ralph. Across the start finish line, and it looks like, wow, a 17.614 is a 3 thousandths of a second slower than Ty Ralph, but he still has pole by about 200ths of a second over second place right now. Looking at the 5 of James R. Batzer. Coming to finish his first lap. Not to get an exit out of 4. Across the stripe, a 17.619. Good enough for second right now. Runs the bottom in 1 and 2. Let's see what he sets in 3 and 4. Is a good turn 4 for Batzer. Across the stripe, a 17.77. But Batzer in a very good position right now in second. You want to be starting on that outside line so you can have quick access to the outside line so you can get around other cars. So nobody really doing any laps right now. You can look at the 2 of Josh Dietz, who's currently 3rd right now, just running some extra qualifying laps, but he goes overboard in turn 3. Very easy to do. Once just one tire goes over, that back end just falls out, and it's so easy to spin. Very easy to lose a couple seconds here at Lernerville by just going overboard. It's worse in turns 1 and 2, believe it or not, because there's a huge, super slick grass patch underneath the banking, and it's hard to get any grip on the dirt tires on the grass. So if you overdo it in 1 and 2, you only want to overdo it by just a little bit, so you lose 3 to 4 seconds. But if you do it in 3 and 4, you can lose about a second or 2. But if you were way overdo it, there's a very real chance that you can be going hard into the concrete barrier just outside the track. But qualifying has concluded here at Lernerville, and we can start getting towards the race here. And we can get to your starting lineup in just 1 second. Starting on pole is car 1 of Ty Ralph, and on his outside is going to be car number 5, James R. Batzer, starting outside pole here at Lernerville. First car in row number 2, it's going to be the number 2 of Josh D, starting in 3rd with Wensley Dunphy, car number 10 on his outside. Last car to start inside the top 5, it's going to be Tristan Johnson in car number 9. On his outside, it's going to be Zach Hummel in car number 7 in 6th place. Row number 4, it's going to be Chad Bremer and Ricky Paz, cars 11 and 13, starting 7th and 8th, respectively. In 9th, it's going to be the 8 of Logan Cochran, and rounding out your top 10, it's going to be the 4 of Michael A. Coate. First car outside of the top 10, it's going to be Lee Lindemann in car number 12, and on his outside, it's going to be Bray Holmes in car number 3, starting in 12th. Chase Hummel, car number 6, starting in 13th, and it's Sandro Scary in car number 14, rounding out this field. It looks like Holmes and Bright Holmes and Scary are not going to grid for this race. But it's all going to be up to who can make the least amount of mistakes, because it's a track where consistency really rewards you. And we got one more trip around the track here before we go green flag racing for a 35 lap tilt at Lernerville. The top two, Batzer and Ralph, very experienced on dirt ovals. James Batzer with a lot of experience on the dirt ovals in the SRX car. Pace car is in, waiting for Ty Ralph to hit the gas. He's going to go early, going to get all the way to the inside, and he's going to have a great start. Dietz is going to try to follow him through into turn number 1. Dietz is going to get clear of Batzer, but Batzer's going to try to fight back on the inside. Gets a little sideways on exit, and he's going to have to be running the bottom when a lot of people want to be running the top. You can see he's going to have to slide up in front of Dunphy up in front on the front straightaway. Scrapes his car against the guardrail a little bit, and whoa, that number 5 got really close to the berm, and that wheel's hanging on. But contact with Dunphy, sends him around. Bremer gets collected. Oh, that's not what Chad wanted at all. Nowhere for him to go. He was committed to that bottom lane, and he unfortunately caught Batzer in that situation. Currently looking at the 9 of Tristan Johnson, running 4th at the moment. Right behind him is car number 13 of Ricky Paz, trying to get his dirt feet under him. And he's doing a pretty good job at it, running inside the top 5 right now. Further in the back, we have a battle for 8th place between Chase Hummel and Logan Cochran. Hummel's going to get the run on the outside, so he's going to hold the position from that 8 car for the time being. But Cochran doing a good job of holding that inside line and keeping step with car number 6. As Cochran goes overboard in turn 1. Was just about to pan the camera, but he goes overboard and he already tows the car. So it looks like his race is going to be over with. As we look at Tristan Johnson in 4th, trying to work on the back end of Wesley Dunphy. Ty Ralph has already extended to about a 2-second lead over Josh Dietz. Ricky Paz keeping step with Tristan Johnson in the 9 car, making sure he doesn't get too far out ahead, and eager to pounce if an opportunity presents itself in front of him. But pretty clean racing here for thus far in the broadcast split. The pre-broadcast split, the 9:30 split, was not very clean at all. So I'm glad that cleaner people have shown up to put this show on. As there goes Tristan Johnson. He's off in turn 3. Gonna have to get that car righted. Almost collected James Batzer, who I think was trying to get out of pit lane. But either way, this is not going to plan for James Batzer. I think he just went off again. So yeah, car number 5 he tows that car. He's just not having a very good time. But going back to our leader, Ty Ralph, starting to get caught very slowly by Josh Dietz. That pink car at the top of the shot, right behind Chad Bremer. About 1.8 seconds between first and second. And if Dietz is gonna get around Ty Bremer without much of a fuss. But now we can see Ricky Paz trying to pull a move on Wesley Dunphy. Dunphy looks like he got over the berm and got a little bit sideways. Gonna have to forfeit the position to Paz, and he's got Zach Hummel right behind him as well. Another SRX regular hungry to pounce on him. So Dunphy looking to make up some lost time to that 13 car in front of him. It's going to be tough when you have a very fast Zach Hummel right behind you. Back up front, the gap between first and second has widened ever since I opened my big mouth. Josh Dietz has slid back to about 2.6 seconds behind Ty Ralph. And Ty Ralph is consistently starting to pull away from that 2 car. Something happened to Ricky Paz. I believe he might have overdone it in 1 and 2. And he slid really wide. I believe Ty Ralph has done the same thing because the gap between him and Josh Dietz has now shrunk to about a second. So Ralph having to maintain first place, and Josh Dietz smells blood in the water. Ty Ralph can make another mistake like that as long as Dietz is within striking distance. It's a very delicate balance that you have to maintain, going fast but also staying safe from that outside berm. And you go faster the higher you go, and Ty Ralph goes around. Ty Ralph around from the lead. Here comes Josh Dietz to take the lead from Ty Ralph. A rare mistake from that 1 car to send him overboard in 3 and 4. And now Josh Dietz with a 3.7 second lead to protect against Ty Ralph in the SRX broadcasted split. Further in the back, Wesley Dunphy has Zach Hummel all over him. You can see just how sideways Dunphy's throwing that car in the corner to get it to rotate. Hummel running the top to just chip away at Dunphy, and you can see Paz following in Hummel's footsteps. Both these drivers trying to find a way around that number 10 of Dunphy. Dunphy pretty sideways on exit, but I think Hummel had to get out of it on exit a little bit to avoid sliding up into the wall. But Hummel goes over the wall trying to catch Dunphy, so that's going to relegate Zach Hummel back to about 7th position. Looking back at Ricky Paz, who's currently in 4th, and now the only car behind Wesley Dunphy right now. Big sideways moment for Dunphy. You see Batzer trying to get around the wounded car of Chad Bremer. Bremer on the high side. Dunphy's got to find a way around him. Dunphy's going to choose the bottom. Going to have to slow up quite a lot all the way on the bottom there. And looks like Ricky's going to have to do the same thing. Going to really chuck it in there on the bottom. And car around. That's car 12, Lee Lindemann. And Dunphy barely scraped him. Luckily, not much more happened than that. But the 12 of Lee Lindemann was facing backwards in turns 3 and 4. And now Ricky Paz trying to wrangle a top 3 from Wesley Dunphy. On lap 28 out of 35. 8 laps to go here. Soon to be 7 to go when Josh Dietz crosses the line. Paz all over the back end of Dunphy. He's going to try a slider into turns 1 and 2. He's clear. Can Dunphy do the crossover on Paz? No, Dunphy gets really sideways and almost loses the car. He has to spend a little bit of time gathering it around, but a great move by Paz to get around Wesley Dunphy for the third position. Dunphy relegated to the fourth position. He's got Michael Coate about 2 seconds behind him with 5 laps to go. That's a pretty solid gap to be having. Looking at Ty Ralph, who has lost more time to that 2 car of Josh Dietz. Dietz now has about a 4.2 second gap over Ty Ralph. And Ralph with that very aggressive entry into the corner, trying to get that right rear hooked up to the to that loose dirt up top for some extra grip. But ever since that mistake that Ty Ralph made in turns 1 and 2, it's been the Josh Dietz show. We believe, I don't even know who that is going off. I think that might be Coate and that's Coate and Zach Hummel off in turns 3 and 4. But Josh Dietz, ever since taking the lead from the 1 of Ty Ralph, he's been maintaining it very well and has not gone overboard yet. He has 1 lap to make it around the Lernerville Speedway, and he will be a first-time SRX broadcasted split winner into turns 3 and 4. He's going to steer well clear of the banking and the edge, and he's going to cross the line in first to be your winner for the SRX broadcasted split race at Lernerville. Great job from the 2 of Josh Dietz to maintain and pounce on the opportunity when it presented it to him, and then he finally goes overboard on the cooldown lap. Let's get your finishing results up on the board. Coming home in first, it's going to be the number 2 of Josh Dietz, and in second, it's going to be the 1 of Ty Ralph. Started on the pole, and all it takes is 1 mistake to send you from first to second. Ricky Paz comes home in third, a good result for him. And Wesley Dunphy, a strong finish for him, brings him 10th place. Chase Hummel comes from the back to 5th place, your last car in the top 5. First car outside the top 5 is going to be the 4 of Michael A. Coate. And behind him, it's going to be Chad Bremer, who suffered an early accident but recovers to 7th. Zach Hummel in car number 7 finishes 8th, with James R. Batzer finishing in 9th. Last car in the top 10 is going to be the car number 12, the car you saw backwards in turns 3 and 4 a few laps ago. Lee Lindemann, car number 12. First car outside of the top 10, it's going to be Tristan Johnson, who retired from the race, and then Logan Cochran, Brea Holmes, and Sandro Scary, rounding out your field of 14 cars for tonight's SRX broadcasted split. With all that said and done, thank you for tuning in to the SRX broadcasted split. We look forward to seeing you next week when we go to, I believe, Homestead Miami Speedway for week 11 out of 12 for the SRX broadcast split. Should be a lot of fun. Look forward to seeing you there. Big thanks to SRX Graphics, SKS Graphics, and Andrew Schulte for their help with the tickers, and big thanks to you, the viewer, for watching. Thank you for watching the SRX broadcast split. My name is Garrett Hess. You're watching my YouTube channel. I look forward to seeing you in the next race.